The sky above Nevada was clear and blue. Captain Jack Miller stared at the computer screen in front of him. For 5 years he had worked at the Nevada Array, listening for signals from space. Most days were quiet. This day was different. "Susan, come look at this," Jack called to his coworker. Lieutenant Susan Green walked over to his station. Her eyes widened as she saw the pattern on the screen. "Is that what I think it is?" she asked. Jack nodded. "It's not random. It's not from Earth. Someone is sending us a message." The signal was simple but impossible to mistake. A series of prime numbers, followed by basic mathematical equations. Then came images, strange symbols that looked like a language. Within an hour, similar reports came in from listening stations around the world. The signal was being broadcast on multiple frequencies. It was meant to be heard. By evening, the President of the United States sat in the Situation Room with his top advisors. General Alan Wright stood at the front of the room, pointing to a map showing where the signal originated. "The source is moving," General Wright said. "It started beyond Mars and is now approaching Earth orbit. It's a ship, sir, an alien ship." The President's face remained calm. "Activate Protocol First Light." Around the table, several officials looked surprised. Few people knew about Protocol First Light, a plan created decades ago for humanity's first contact with alien life. "Doctor," Olivia Carter opened a thick folder. "We've been preparing for this, Mr. President. All major nations signed the protocol in secret. If aliens come, we present a united front. No single country speaks for Earth." 3 days later, the alien ship entered Earth orbit. It was smooth and silver, shaped like an oval with strange markings on its hull. Telescopes around the world captured images that were broadcast to billions of people. The alien message became clearer. "We come in peace. We wish to meet." Switzerland was chosen as the meeting place. Its neutrality in human conflicts made it a logical choice for humanity's first face-to-face meeting with aliens. In a field outside Geneva, a large area was prepared. Military forces from 20 nations formed a protective ring, but kept their weapons hidden. World leaders agreed this should look like a peaceful welcome, not a defensive position. Jack and Susan were there, chosen because they were the first to detect the signal. They stood with scientists and diplomats from around the world, watching the sky. "I never thought I'd see this day," Susan whispered. Jack nodded. "Everything changes after today." A smaller ship descended from the larger one in orbit. It made no sound as it landed on the field. For several minutes, nothing happened. The gathered humans waited quietly. Then a door opened in the side of the ship. 3 figures walked out. They were tall and thin. Their skin was pale blue, and they had large eyes that seemed to take in everything at once. They wore simple clothing that shimmered in the sunlight. The alien in front raised a hand in what looked like a greeting. "People of Earth, we are representatives of the Galactic Commonwealth. I am Ambassador Vriltox." The translation came through devices the aliens provided. Their words changed into all major human languages at once. The Secretary General of the United Nations stepped forward. "On behalf of all humanity, we welcome you to Earth." Over the next hours, the first careful conversation between species took place. The aliens explained that they were part of a large community of intelligent beings from many planets. They traveled through space, finding new civilizations and helping them join the Commonwealth. "We have done this thousands of times," Ambassador Vriltox said. "Each species brings new ideas, new ways of thinking. The Commonwealth grows stronger with each new member." The humans shared basic information about Earth, its nations, languages, and history. They kept their explanation simple, describing humanity as a young civilization still working to unite its people. That evening, a private meeting took place. General Wright and Dr. Carter met in a secure room beneath the welcome site. "They believe we're less advanced than we are," General Wright said. "That works in our favor." Dr. Carter nodded. "Their technology is remarkable. The energy readings from their ship suggest they're at least 300 years ahead of us." "Did you see how they reacted when we mentioned our wars?" General Wright asked. They think we're primitive because we still fight each other. Little do they know, Dr. Carter said with a small smile. The next day, the aliens invited a small group of humans to visit their ship. Jack and Susan were included because of their work with the signals. Inside the alien vessel, Jack tried to hide his amazement. The walls seemed alive, changing color as they walked past. Doors opened without being touched. The air felt cleaner than any he had breathed before. Commander Zexlar, the ship's leader, showed them the control room. The Celestial Seeker has traveled to over 200 worlds, he explained. We are explorers first, always seeking new life. Susan asked careful questions about how the ship moved through space. The aliens explained a system that bent space itself, allowing them to travel faster than light. Your species will learn this technology in time, Commander Zexlar said. All Commonwealth members share knowledge. When they returned to Earth, Jack found General Wright waiting. What did you learn? The general asked. Everything I could, Jack replied, handing over a small device that had recorded data throughout the visit. Over the following weeks, more alien ships arrived. The Commonwealth established an outpost on the moon as a neutral meeting place. Each day, they shared more information about space, other worlds, and advanced technology. Earth's governments presented a picture of grateful acceptance. Schools began teaching children about their new friends among the stars. News programs showed smiling aliens meeting with human leaders. Behind closed doors, in secret facilities around the world, human scientists studied every piece of alien technology they could access. Military leaders made plans. Government officials who had known about Protocol First Light for decades now activated the next phase. Protocol Deep Cover. 1 month after first contact, Ambassador Vriltox made an announcement. The Commonwealth formally invites Earth to begin the process of joining our galactic community. The offer was accepted with apparent joy and gratitude. Humans would be allowed to visit Commonwealth worlds. Alien advisors would help Earth advance its technology and solve problems like disease and pollution. In an underground room in Colorado, General Wright watched the announcement on a screen. Beside him, Dr. Carter reviewed data from the alien ships. They have no idea, General Wright said quietly. Dr. Carter shook her head. No, they think they've found another primitive world to guide. They don't understand what Earth really is. How long until we're ready? The general asked. Years. Maybe decades. We need to learn everything about them first. Their weaknesses, their defenses. And then, Dr. Carter said, we fulfill our purpose. 5 years passed since the aliens first came to Earth. The Galactic Commonwealth had kept its promises. New medical technology ended many diseases. Clean energy systems replaced old power plants. Humans learned about other worlds and beings from across the galaxy. Frank Jones sat on a bench in Central Park, watching people walk by. Some wore clothes with Commonwealth symbols. Children played with toys that floated in the air. Gifts from alien friends. Everything looked peaceful. A tall blue figure approached Frank's bench. Ambassador Vriltox had been on Earth since first contact. May I join you? The alien asked. Frank smiled. Of course, Ambassador. Vriltox sat down, his long fingers folded neatly in his lap. I have good news, Frank. The Council has approved your request. You will lead the first human delegation to visit the Commonwealth Central Worlds. Frank showed excitement on his face. That's wonderful. When do we leave? In 3 days. You will visit 5 worlds, including our capital. This is a great honor. After the ambassador left, Frank took a different path through the park. He entered a small coffee shop and walked to the back room. General Wright waited there with Dr. Carter. It worked, Frank said simply. I'm going to their central worlds. General Wright nodded. Good. You know what to look for? Their defense, systems, communication networks, and power sources, Frank recited. I'll find their weaknesses. Dr. Carter handed him a small device that looked like a pen. This will record everything without them noticing. Their security scans won't detect it. 3 days later, Frank led a group of 20 humans onto a Commonwealth ship. They were scientists, teachers, and diplomats. At least, that's what the aliens thought. In truth, each person had been carefully chosen and trained for this mission. The ship left Earth behind, traveling through space at speeds humans had only dreamed of before. Through the windows, the stars blurred and shifted. Commander Zexlar showed Frank the ship's control room. "This is how we navigate between stars," he explained, pointing to a glowing map. Frank acted impressed but confused. "I don't understand how it works, but it's beautiful." The commander smiled at what he thought was human simplicity. "You will learn in time." While the aliens slept, Frank used his hidden device to scan the ship's systems. He paid special attention to the weapons and shields. Every piece of information would help Earth prepare. The first world they visited was called Teller, a planet with 3 moons and buildings that reached into the clouds. The humans were welcomed as honored guests. At each meeting and tour, Frank played his role perfectly, an eager, grateful human amazed by alien wonders. On Earth, Lisa Parker worked as a cultural liaison. Her job was to help Commonwealth visitors understand human customs. In truth, she had another purpose. Today, she was taking 3 aliens on a tour of New York City. They were scientists studying Earth's plants and animals. "Humans have so many interesting foods," one alien said as they passed a hot dog stand. Lisa smiled. "Would you like to try one?" The aliens agreed. Lisa bought hot dogs for all of them. As they ate, she asked casual questions about their home worlds. "What kinds of plants grow there? What do you eat? Are there any foods that make you sick?" The aliens didn't realize that Lisa recorded everything they said. Each small detail about alien biology could be important later. Back at her apartment that night, Lisa sent her notes to a secure server. Scientists around the world studied this information, looking for biological weaknesses in each alien species. Months passed. Frank's delegation visited more Commonwealth worlds. On the planet Draxus, he met alien military officers who thought they were simply showing off their technology to primitive humans. "This defense system protects our most important cities," an officer explained, showing Frank a network of energy shields. Frank nodded with apparent awe. His hidden device recorded everything about how the system worked and how it could be defeated. On the capital world, Frank attended meetings with the highest Commonwealth officials. They discussed Earth's future in the galactic community. Humans would be given more technology, more knowledge, more access to space travel. In return, Earth would follow Commonwealth laws and contribute its unique culture to the galactic society. Frank signed agreements with a smile on his face. The aliens believed they were helping a grateful species join their civilization. They didn't know that every piece of technology they shared was taken apart and studied in secret human labs. One alien was not convinced. Security Officer Tragic had noticed small problems with the human story. Their technology seemed too primitive for a species with their level of intelligence. Their history had gaps that didn't make sense. Tragic brought his concerns to a meeting of Commonwealth officials. "Something is not right about the humans," he said. "They learn too quickly. They ask too many specific questions." Ambassador Vriltox dismissed these concerns. "Every new species is curious. Humans are simply eager to join our community." "I believe they are hiding something," Tragic insisted. "What could they possibly hide?" another official asked. "Their technology is centuries behind ours. They pose no threat." Tragic was ordered to stop investigating the humans. The Commonwealth had welcomed many new species over thousands of years. They saw no reason to fear Earth. After 8 months in space, Frank's delegation returned to Earth. They brought gifts, knowledge, and most importantly, the information they had secretly gathered. In the underground facility in Colorado, Frank gave his report to General Wright and Dr. Carter. "Their defenses are strong but not perfect," he said. "They trust too easily. They've never faced a serious threat in over 1,000 years." Dr. Carter reviewed the data. "This is excellent work, Frank. We now understand their shield technology, their weapon systems, and their communication networks. "How long until we're ready?" Frank asked. General Wright looked at a large screen showing a countdown. 45 more years. We need to spread to more of their worlds. We need to become essential to their society. Will they discover our purpose before then? Frank wondered. Dr. Carter shook her head. They believe we're just another primitive species they're helping. Their arrogance blinds them. By the time they realize the truth, it will be too late. Outside, night fell over America. Commonwealth ships moved across the sky like new stars. Aliens walked among humans in major cities. The world celebrated 5 years of friendship with the galaxy. No one suspected that beneath this peaceful surface, Earth was preparing for something very different. In hidden bases around the planet, weapons were designed that could target specific, alien vulnerabilities. Children were trained for missions they would carry out as adults on distant worlds. The Commonwealth thought they were guiding a young species toward a bright future. They didn't understand Earth's true purpose. A purpose decided long before the aliens ever arrived. 50 years had passed since first contact. Humans now lived on over 30 alien worlds. They worked as traders, teachers, doctors, and builders. The Commonwealth praised humans for how quickly they had adapted to galactic society. On the planet, Nexus 7, far from Earth, alien archaeologist Kethmar dug carefully in the dirt. The ruins here were ancient, buried for over 50,000 years. His team had been working for months to uncover the remains of a lost civilization. Today, Kethmar found something strange. As he brushed soil from a stone wall, he revealed pictures, carved into the rock. The images showed beings that looked familiar. "Doug, come see this," he called to his human assistant. Doug Peterson walked over and looked at the wall. His face showed nothing, but inside his heart beat faster. "These carvings look almost human," Kethmar said. "But that's impossible. These ruins are 50,000 years old. Your species was still primitive then." Doug shrugged. "Maybe it's just a coincidence. Many species stand on 2 legs with 2 arms." But Kethmar wasn't convinced. He took pictures and made notes. The body shape, the head size, even the hands. They're too similar to humans. I need to research this further. That night, Kethmar sat alone in his tent, looking at the pictures. He found more images in the research database that troubled him. Other ruins on other worlds with similar carvings, all showing beings that looked like humans. A shadow fell across his desk. He looked up. "Doug, is that you?" It was the last thing Kethmar ever said. The next morning, the rest of the archaeological team found Kethmar's body. They called it an accident, a fall in the dark. No one noticed that his research files were missing. Across the galaxy, on a Commonwealth Central world, a high-level meeting took place. Commonwealth leaders discussed Earth's progress. "Humans have adapted better than any species in our history," one official said. "They learn quickly and work hard. They've become valuable members of our society." Ambassador Vriltox, now old but still serving as Earth's main contact, nodded. "I've watched them grow from a primitive planet-bound species to worthy Commonwealth citizens. It is our greatest success story." Only one voice disagreed. Security Chief Tragic had spent 50 years watching humans with suspicion. "There are too many coincidences," he said. "Humans appear in too many important positions across our worlds. They ask too many questions about our defense systems." The other officials laughed at his concerns. "Humans are simply curious," one said. "Their history of conflicts on their homeworld makes them interested in security." "Their conflicts should be a warning to us," Tragic insisted. "No other Commonwealth species had as many wars as humans did before contact." But no one listened. Humans had proven themselves peaceful and helpful for 50 years. The Commonwealth trusted them completely. Deep beneath the Rocky Mountains on Earth, Maria Collins stood in a large room filled with screens and maps. As the great-granddaughter of one of Earth's original planners, she now led the final preparations. "Status report," she ordered. A man at a computer answered. "We have people in place on all major Commonwealth worlds. The defense override codes are complete. The biological agents are ready. Maria nodded and looked at the main screen. It showed thousands of red dots spread across a map of the galaxy. Each dot was a human placed in a strategic location. How many humans know the full truth, she asked. Less than 1%, the man replied. Most think they're just gathering information for Earth's protection. Only the chosen ones know our real purpose. Maria walked to a glass case in the center of the room. Inside was an ancient metal object covered with strange symbols. It was not human-made. It was much, much older. Our creators would be proud, she said quietly. After all these thousands of years, we're finally ready to complete our mission. On a Commonwealth trade world, a human family celebrated their daughter's 10th birthday. The parents, John and Betty Howard, had moved here 8 years ago to establish a shipping business. Their daughter Carol had grown up among aliens, learning their languages and customs. After the party, when Carol was in bed, John received a coded message. He went to his private office and locked the door. The message was simple. Phase 3 begins in 25 years. Prepare your sector. John sent back a single word. Ready? He then went to a hidden safe and took out a small device. It looked like an ordinary data storage unit. He updated it with new information about the planet's defense systems, which he had learned through his shipping business. John was one of millions of humans placed strategically throughout Commonwealth space. For 50 years they had been watching, learning, and waiting. Most humans living on alien worlds didn't know they were part of a larger plan. They simply reported information that seemed important, thinking they were helping Earth protect itself. Only a select few, like John, knew what was coming. On Earth, regular people lived normal lives. They enjoyed the benefits of alien technology and traveled to other worlds for vacation or work. They had no idea that their planet had a secret purpose. In school, children learned about Earth's lucky discovery by the Commonwealth. Teachers explained how aliens had helped humanity advance and join the galactic community. What they didn't learn was that humanity was engineered. Long before recorded history, Earth had been seeded with carefully designed life. Human development had been guided over thousands of years, building toward one specific goal. In her underground command center, Maria reviewed reports from human agents across Commonwealth space. Everything was on schedule. The Commonwealth, still, had no idea what was coming. Ma'am, a young officer called. We have a situation. An alien archaeologist on Nexus 7 found evidence of our creators. The agent there handled it, but there might be other sites with similar evidence. Maria frowned. Increase security at all known creator sites. We can't let the Commonwealth discover the truth until we're ready. The truth was Earth's greatest secret. Humans were not a natural species. They were weapons designed to look harmless, to gain trust, to spread throughout the galaxy, and then to strike all at once. Their creators had been destroyed by the Commonwealth's ancestors in a war, long forgotten by the galaxy. But before they died out, they created Earth as their revenge, a planet of billions of weapons disguised as people. Most humans didn't know this. They lived and loved and worked, believing they were just another species in a vast galaxy. Only the chosen ones, descendants of those who had always known the plan, understood Earth's true purpose. In 25 years, every human in the galaxy would receive a signal. Their bodies would activate hidden abilities programmed into their DNA. They would become the weapons they were designed to be, and the Commonwealth would fall. As night fell over Earth, Maria looked at the stars visible through a small window in her underground command center. Soon those stars would witness the fulfillment of a plan millions of years in the making. Just a little longer, she whispered. 75 years had passed since first contact. Across the galaxy, Commonwealth worlds prepared for a great celebration. It was the anniversary of discovering Earth, now considered one of the Commonwealth's greatest success stories. On the Commonwealth capital world, the Grand Council chamber was filled with representatives from hundreds of planets. Kevin Ward, Earth's highest ambassador, stood at the speaking platform. After 75 years, humans held important positions throughout Commonwealth society. Friends, allies, fellow citizens of the stars. Kevin began. His voice was warm and sincere. 75 years ago, our worlds met for the first time. You found us when we were still young, still learning to reach beyond our own atmosphere. You shared your knowledge, your technology, your friendship. Aliens of many species listened, their translator devices changing Kevin's words into their own languages. Earth will forever be grateful for the hand of friendship you extended, Kevin continued. You lifted us up and welcomed us into your community. We have learned so much from you. The bond between our worlds will last forever. Many aliens wiped tears from their eyes, moved by Kevin's words. Even species that didn't cry felt strong emotions. Humans had become beloved throughout the Commonwealth. Their art, music, and passion for life had enriched galactic culture. As Kevin finished his speech, the entire chamber rose in applause. He bowed his head in humble thanks. Walking off the stage, Kevin touched the small device in his pocket. He whispered words that no one else could hear. Activate Protocol Omega. The message spread instantly through hidden channels. On every Commonwealth world where humans lived, the signal was received. Nancy Bell taught alien children on the planet Proxima 4. She had lived there for 15 years, loved by her students and their parents. When the signal reached her, she was in the middle of a lesson about Earth poetry. Nancy felt something change inside her body. It didn't hurt. It felt natural, like waking up from a long sleep. She knew what was happening but showed no emotion on her face. She continued teaching as chemicals began to form in her cells. Across the school, other human teachers received the same signal. Throughout the city, human workers, neighbors, and friends began to change from within. On the Commonwealth Defense Station orbiting the planet, Peter Walsh received the signal while repairing a communication array. As the head engineer, he had access to all the station's systems. He finished his repair work, then walked calmly to the main control room. Routine update, he told the alien security officer as he connected his personal device to the main computer. The security officer nodded, trusting Peter completely after working with him for years. What Peter actually did was upload a virus that would shut down the station's defenses in exactly 6 hours. Similar scenes played out on thousands of worlds. Humans in key positions took small, unnoticed actions. Some adjusted defense systems. Others planted devices in water supplies. Many did nothing visible at all, as their bodies began producing the compounds they were designed to create. Back on the Commonwealth capital, the celebration continued. Kevin Ward joined a dinner with the highest Commonwealth officials. He ate, drank, and laughed with them, all while knowing what was coming. An alert sound interrupted the dinner. A Commonwealth security officer entered the room and whispered, "To the Supreme Chancellor." The Chancellor's face changed from happy to concerned. "What's happening?" Kevin asked, looking worried. The Chancellor hesitated before answering. "Strange energy readings are coming from several worlds. Our scientists don't understand the pattern." Kevin nodded with what looked like concern. "Is there anything Earth can do to help?" In a monitoring station near the edge of Commonwealth space, alien scientists worked frantically to understand the strange readings. Energy levels were rising on planets with human populations. "The pattern started 20 minutes ago," one scientist explained to Commander Zexlar, who had become a high-ranking official after his early work with Earth. "It's happening everywhere humans live." Zexlar frowned. Could it be related to human biology? Perhaps something in their environment affects them differently. "We've lived alongside humans for decades," another scientist said. "Nothing like this has ever happened before." The readings continued to grow stronger. Commonwealth ships were sent to investigate, but they found nothing obvious wrong. Humans went about their normal activities, showing no signs of distress. Security Chief Tragic burst into the monitoring station. After 75 years, he was very old, but his mind remained sharp. "I warned you," he said to Zexlar. "I always said there was something wrong about the humans." "We don't know that humans are causing this," Zexlar replied. "Check the pattern." Tragic insisted. "The energy readings are strongest in places with the highest human populations." The scientists confirmed this was true. Wherever humans lived in large numbers, The strange energy was building. Tragic turned to a communication officer. Send an emergency message to all Commonwealth worlds. Isolate all humans immediately. This is not a drill. But it was too late. On Proxima 4, Nancy Bell finished her school day and walked home. As she entered her apartment, the chemicals in her body reached their final state. She sat calmly in a chair and closed her eyes. Around her, the air began to shimmer. The effect spread outward, covering the building, then the street, then the entire city. Every plant, animal, and alien within the zone began to sicken. On the defense station above the planet, Peter Walsh watched the clock. When the countdown reached 0, his virus activated. The station's weapons and shields shut down. He walked to the window and looked down at the planet, where shimmering zones were spreading from every location where humans lived. It's starting, he whispered. Throughout Commonwealth space, the pattern repeated. Defense systems failed at the exact same moment. Communication networks went silent. Power stations shut down. And on thousands of worlds, humans became the weapons they were designed to be. Some released biological agents tailored to alien biology. Others became walking bombs that destroyed key infrastructure. Many simply stood, still as their bodies generated energy fields that killed all non-human life around them. The Commonwealth finally understood Earth's true purpose, but the realization came far too late. In the Grand Council chamber on the Capital World, Kevin Ward stood as chaos erupted around him. Aliens ran in panic as reports came in from across the galaxy. Security forces aimed weapons at him, but he showed no fear. Why? The Supreme Chancellor asked, his voice shaking. We helped you. We welcomed you. Kevin's face showed no emotion as he answered. This was always our purpose. You never knew what we really are. As security forces moved to arrest him, Kevin's body began to glow. The Commonwealth officials backed away in fear. What are you? The Chancellor whispered. The revenge of those you destroyed long ago, Kevin replied. Then his body released its energy, and the council chamber dissolved into light. Across the galaxy, the Commonwealth began to fall. The vast civilization that had existed for thousands of years found itself under attack from within. The humans they had trusted, had welcomed into their homes and cities, had become their destroyers. And on Earth, in her underground command center, Maria Collins watched the reports coming in from across the stars. Everything was proceeding exactly as planned. Send the final signal, she ordered. The true destruction was about to begin. The Commonwealth burned. After 3 months of destruction, half of their worlds were dead or dying. The great civilization that had existed for thousands of years was falling apart. In what remained of the Commonwealth fleet, Commander Zexlar gathered the last warships. Though very old now, he led the final defense of his people. On the command ship's main screen, he watched recordings from dozens of worlds. Each showed the same thing: humans transforming into weapons of different kinds. They were never just people, Zexlar said to his officers. They were living weapons designed to look like people. Security Chief Tragic, who had warned about humans for decades, nodded sadly. Each human is different. Some release biological agents that target our specific species. Others generate energy fields that destroy technology. Some simply explode, with enough force to level cities. How could we not see this? A young officer asked. Because they were patient, Tragic answered. They waited 75 years, spreading throughout our worlds, gaining our trust. No enemy has ever been so patient before. Commander Zexlar pointed to a star map showing the spread of destruction. The pattern is clear now. Earth is the control center. All human actions are being directed from there. He turned to face his crew. We have only one choice. Earth must be destroyed. The fleet changed course, heading toward the solar system. It was a desperate plan. Most Commonwealth ships had been damaged or destroyed when humans in key positions sabotaged them. But Zexlar had managed to gather 200 warships that still functioned. As the fleet approached Earth, they encountered no resistance. The solar system seemed unprotected. It's strange, Zexlar said. Why would they leave their home world defenseless? Perhaps all their weapons are already deployed across our worlds, an officer suggested. The fleet entered Earth orbit. Below them, cities glowed in the darkness. The planet looked peaceful. Begin the attack, Zexlar ordered. Energy weapons fired from the Commonwealth ships. The first blasts hit major cities: New York, Beijing, London. The cities disappeared in flashes of light. More weapons fired, targeting smaller cities and military bases. Within an hour, Earth's surface was covered in fire and smoke. The blue oceans boiled. The green forests burned. After 3 hours of constant attack, nothing living remained on the surface. Continue until the planet breaks apart, Zexlar commanded. The ships fired deeper, targeting the planet's core. After another hour, Earth began to crack. Massive pieces broke away, drifting into space. Finally, the planet exploded completely, becoming a field of debris. A cheer went up from the Commonwealth crews. They believed they had destroyed the control center of the human weapons, but their victory was short-lived. "Commander, we're detecting something strange in the debris field," an officer reported. In the center of what had been Earth, something remained intact. It was a metal object about the size of a small moon. It had been hidden inside the planet, protected by layers of rock and metal. "What is that?" Zexlar asked. Before anyone could answer, the object began to glow. A signal pulsed from it, spreading outward through space. On all the Commonwealth worlds where humans had attacked, the destruction suddenly intensified. Humans who had seemed dead reactivated. New energy patterns appeared in areas that had already been devastated. And throughout the galaxy, on worlds the Commonwealth had thought were safe, hidden human cells awakened and began their work of destruction. Earth wasn't the control center, Tragic realized, his voice filled with horror. It was just another piece of the plan. The object in Earth's debris field projected an image into space. It showed beings that looked almost like humans, but older, with eyes that held ancient wisdom and anger. A voice spoke in all Commonwealth languages at once. "We are the progenitors. You knew us once, millions of years ago, before your ancestors destroyed our civilization." Commander Zexlar stared at the image. He had never seen these beings before, but stories of them existed in the Commonwealth's oldest records. The voice continued. "Before we died, we created our revenge. We made Earth. We engineered humans to be perfect weapons. For millions of years they evolved, never knowing their true purpose. They believed they built their own civilization, created their own history, but everything was designed to prepare them for this moment." On the command ship, the Commonwealth officers listened in silence. Humans were never aware of what they truly were, the voice explained. Only a few chosen ones in each generation knew the truth, guiding their development. Toward this day, the rest were innocent, living their lives while carrying our revenge inside their DNA. The metal object pulsed again, sending another signal into space. "This is only the beginning," the voice said. "More Earths exist. More weapons are coming. Your Commonwealth will be erased from the galaxy, just as you erased us." The transmission ended. The object went dark, but continued to float in the debris field of Earth. Commander Zexlar ordered his ships to destroy it, but their weapons had no effect. The object was protected by technology far beyond their understanding. As the Commonwealth fleet retreated from the solar system, Zexlar noticed a single escape pod leaving one of the damaged ships. It was heading toward the strange object in Earth's remains. "Stop that pod," he ordered, but it was too late. The pod reached the object and was pulled inside. In the escape pod, Paul Mitchell sat alone. He was the last human on the Commonwealth fleet, a technician who had hidden his identity. Unlike most humans, Paul knew the full truth. He had been one of the chosen ones, trained from birth for this moment. Inside the ancient object, Paul found a chamber filled with glowing machinery. At the center was a small platform. He knew what to do. He had been prepared for this all his life. Paul stepped onto the platform. His body began to dissolve, his consciousness merging with the ancient technology. He felt millions of minds joining. With his, the stored minds of the progenitors waiting all these years for their revenge. As his human body disappeared, Paul had one final thought of his own. He realized that humans had never been free. They had never built their own destiny. They had always been tools, weapons designed for this single purpose. In his last moment of humanity, Paul felt sadness for his species. Then his mind was gone, absorbed into the collective consciousness of the long-dead progenitors. The object sent out one final message to the Commonwealth fleet. We have only just begun. Throughout the galaxy, the dying Commonwealth worlds received the message. Their civilization, which had lasted for thousands of years, was ending, and it was only the first step in a war planned millions of years ago. The progenitors' revenge had waited patiently through the ages. Earth was just the first of their weapons. More would come. The galaxy faced a darkness it had never known before.